Well, hello there, guys. Welcome to some more campaign series Middle East. And yes, we finally got rid of that annoying ding. At least I think we did. Pretty sure we did. If not, I know where to go to turn it off. So guys, for those of you that have not seen the rest of the series, I highly recommend you go take a look at that. We're going to start out here with our engineer platoon up here on the hill, and we are going to start targeting the enemy. Now, that engineer platoon has fired already, so let's just make sure our no ding policy is still in effect. Beautiful. As far as I know, let's try again. Yep, beautiful. So guys, at this point, we're going to go ahead and start trying to take out these rifle companies up here. We absolutely just eliminated that rifle company. We get another shot here. I'm going to fire. And once again, we got a unit to retreat, and it was reduced by 3. 3 enemies down. It can't get much better than that. Now, we're actually very close to basically what I like to call point A, our first victory point capture. But before we go there, I want to make sure to use up all of our rounds here. I want to make sure to try to remove as many enemies as possible, and that could take at least a turn or two. Wow, no effect on the engineers. That is surprising. And I think we also have another shot here with our half-track. Let's go ahead and open fire on those engineers as well. Or we could actually keep firing at the rifle company. I think that's what I'm going to do. Ooh, we're going to have to move up. So, engineers, you got unlucky this time. Sure enough, reduced by 1, retreated. In a second here, in fact, very soon, why not now? Let's take a look at the actual, basically the casualties screen. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at strength. And we can see here basically how many men we lost and how many men the enemy lost. So our losses over here, as you can see, the enemy losses are over here. You can see that they've lost 35 men from rifle platoons, 39 men from their other rifle platoons, 4 carrier riflemen, 7 engineers. These generally respond to a single soldier. So when it's 35, it's actually 35 men. In our case, it looks like we lost 2 men from our rifle platoons and 6 armored rifle platoon men. Probably about 8 men altogether, as well as a bunch of different bits of equipment, as it were. And all of these, of course, correlate to lost or won victory points. So obviously, not only can we win the battle by taking these victory points, but also by getting way more kills than the enemy. Also looks like we've got another shot here. I'm going to take it if we can on the rifle company. Yeah, baby. There's no effect, but you know what? I always like to get that extra shot. Hey, free shot. Of course I'm going to take that. And we also got some units approaching this other victory point. And I think with these guys, the most important thing is going to be movement, if we haven't already moved them. So I'm going to try to get them up here. No, it's not going to work. We might be able to get one of the infantry units up here. Nope, he's moved already. So these guys have already moved. What about these guys? Have they moved already? We're going to have to move through a minefield, guys. Yeah, they've already moved as well. We're not going to mess with them. Let's grab these guys. And yes, that not having that annoying ding is so much better. I'm going to try, and as you can see, I think we've moved all these guys in the last turn. For those of you that have not seen our last turn or the first part of this campaign in general, I highly, highly recommend you go check that out. There's a lot of information there, and you're going to know a lot more about what we're up against, essentially. Let's get this Jeep with a machine gun on top, and let's see if we can't open fire on the enemy. I don't think we can. I think we're just out of victory points. So we'll keep on moving, guys. The truck's pretty much useless because we've already gotten all the men out of the truck. But these guys, of course, they've got a long way to walk to actually get to combat. But they're certainly on the way, as it were. So here's another group of them. I'm going to try to get them over here. Not bad. So we got a nice, like, wave of Israeli soldiers moving up this way. I don't think we can cut through this area, but I'm going to try. Oh, sure enough. I want to see what kind of terrain this is. And it looks like this is marshy terrain. So, interesting. So, obviously being in a marsh, not the greatest place to be in a combat situation. I'm also going to move these guys up. We've got some mortars here. We definitely want to get those mortars closer to the enemy. Now, once again, as for that truck, there's no point in moving the truck forward because there's nobody inside the truck. So, we're not going to be able to basically drop anyone off. Kind of pointless, essentially. That being said, still plenty to do over here. And we want to just keep on moving. So these trucks, some of these trucks do have men inside. We absolutely want to unload them if we can. But I think we actually just got this truck here last turn. So we might have to wait a bit, guys, unfortunately. So you can see this unit right here. They are much more prepared to engage in combat. And we've also moved them forward this turn. I want to get these tanks forward too. But these tanks are going to have a pretty dangerous ride ahead of them. You know, I want to see if we can get them up on top here, but I don't think we can, and we just put our tanks in the middle of an artillery strike. Not meaning to, but It happens. What's that old saying, guys? We can't say it because YouTube will demonetize the video. Probably demonetize it anyway. And I'm going to actually put all attacks from this group of units on that 6-pounder AT gun. No effect. We did disrupt it a bit with one of our shots, but for the most part, no real effect. A little bit disappointing, I have to say. But it is what it is. With these guys, we want to keep on moving forward as well. And we want to be careful because we've got, of course, guys over here like Lieutenant Colonel Ray. And we don't really want him to be, you know, a casualty. That being said, we've got to keep moving. So I'm going to see if we can move him up. I think he's already moved this turn. We've also got a unit in the half-track that's going to have to dismount next turn for sure. Oh, good. They can dismount this turn. Pretty cool. We probably could have waited a bit, but I was a bit jumpy. We've got these trucks here with plenty of men inside. Let's go ahead and move them. It's going to take a while for them to actually get to their position, and I think we can start dropping some units off. But I don't know if I actually want to drop all of the units off here. I want to get them a little bit closer. And actually, we can't drop them off yet. I'm kind of happy about that. Now, of course, the enemy could surprise us and start basically opening fire on those units. And that's one of the worst units to lose, is basically a vehicle with units inside. You don't want that to happen for obvious reasons. You know, it's a big loss. But we're going to take that risk just to get a little bit closer to this other victory point over here. We've got so many victory points that we have to keep our eyes out for in this particular battle. And look at this, we've also got some more reinforcements on the way. I also like that underground road right there, well, that tunnel. It's pretty cool. And we're going to be sending this guy straight to Rafah. So I'm going to send him here, see how close he can get. Seems pretty close. So let's go ahead and grab another unit here. We've got Lieutenant Colonel Samgar right here. I think these guys have pretty much already fired. I'm going to check one more time. So we pretty much know that we moved these guys up as much as we can, essentially. Now, I do believe that these tanks can still move. If I'm not mistaken, yes, we're getting right into Rafah itself. So we're in the city of Rafah, and they actually killed 2 of our Shermans, guys. I didn't expect that at all. We can get some shots. They've got Shermans too, which is hilarious. So we're going to open fire on their Shermans. It's Shermans against Shermans, basically. I mean, pretty straightforward stuff. Let's go ahead and try and get another shot on these guys. We've also got that massive 25-pounder gun. But I want to keep targeting the enemy Sherman tanks. And there we go. We definitely reduced by at least 1, reduced by 2. Awesome, guys. And we can get another shot here on this Sherman. Ooh, disrupted. Not bad. What do you guys think? I think the Israeli tankers are much better here so far. Then again, we are being a little bit unfair because the enemy doesn't have nearly as many tanks as we do, at least right now. There we go. So they did retreat. We didn't actually kill them, but hey, a retreat ain't so bad. I'm going to go ahead and fire off another shot. And at this point, I think we're actually probably about maybe 1.5 kilometers or maybe a kilometer away from that Sherman tank. So we're getting some very good shots. And obviously, our tanks, as well as their tanks, you know, both being Shermans, do have quite a distance. But you can see here that the tanks being used here are World War II era tanks. And that's just the way it is right now. Let's go ahead and open fire here at the 25-pounder. Now, in campaign series, you can, of course, do a number of different wars in the Middle East. So you don't always get these World War II era weapons. You can get, obviously, more modern weapons. And it looks like we're using Super Shermans. They might be using just the regular, straight, old Sherman tank. Ours are a little better than the ones they have. We've also got some units here, some infantry units. I'm hoping that that artillery hits the spot it's supposed to, because if not, we're going to have some dead infantry. So I am going to try and drop out some infantry right there, and we're going to use them to assault this position over here. There's a lot of different units here, mainly guns, things like that, 25-pounder guns, etc. If we can get a shot off, I'll go for it, but it looks like we've got to actually be inside the Rafah to get that shot. And we can't get into Rafah right now. So I think it's safe to say we should probably go ahead and dismount some of these units. Looks like we can only dismount one right now. Fair enough. As for the rest of these guys, we're basically just waiting. That's really the goal right now. We've got some more trucks over here. We want to bring them into Rafah, but they're going to have to wait too. So we're bringing them down the Gaza Strip, close to Rafah, of course. For those of you that don't know, the Gaza Strip is a constant source of violence between Israel and Palestine. Of course, they fight over this area, and one can see why. in wars like this, for instance, the Second Arab-Israeli War, this was definitely a point of contention. Looks like we've gotten most of our forces forward, guys. We do still have some trucks over here, but these are empty, so I'm not going to be messing with those. We've also got a command HQ, and I think it's probably a good idea, if we can move them, to get them a little bit closer to our men, just so our men know that command is not completely abandoning them, but in fact is definitely trying to help them in any way we can. So we've already jumped over here. We've gotten a pretty good start. I want to see if we've got anything coming from Sinai, but I don't think we do. This is going to be actually the main grouping of the enemy, of the Egyptians. The Arab League is going to be over here. I believe it's the Arab League. Once again, my knowledge of the wars in Israel, Palestine, is limited, to say the least. So I do believe that these guys are either Egyptians or Arab League. So basically a collection of many different groups. I think we've already fired as much as we can. We've moved all of the units we can. And at this point, what I want to do is I want to start selecting some good old-fashioned mortar targets. So let's go ahead. Got artillery dialogue. Oh boy, we're going to have some fun here. We've got a lot of stuff over here and some stuff by Rafah, which we could probably hit. That's not a bad idea, that gun right there, but I think I'm actually going to go for that 250-point area up here. This is really where most of the enemy is. They've also got some mortars up here, so I think I want to try and drop some mortars as much as I can in these areas. Let's go for the 3-inch mortar. This one is a bit smaller, well, pretty small mortar, let's be honest, and we're going to have to just drop it in areas where we think there's going to be a lot of men. So we'll drop it there, we'll drop another one there, and let's go to the 155mm Model 50. This is a beautiful weapon, and every time we drop, we always seem to get at least one kill. But I do want to try and get kills up here as much as possible, so I'm going to drop another one there. I'll drop one right there because there's an AT gun, and I don't want it bombing us. And we'll also drop one right here because the enemy is kind of in this sort of hidden location. I don't know how else to explain it. And one right there because, once again, there's another anti-tank gun. And why not? We can drop another one over here on this area. Let's go to the Tampella once again. With the Tampella, I'm going to hit this target right here. I want to help out our boys over here that are trying to grab that first VP point. So we're going to drop some Tampella rounds there. I'm going to go forward, and I'll drop a Tampella round here as well. And let's drop some over here. We're already bombarding this area pretty heavily, but I want to make sure that they know that they are not safe. No matter how close to Rafah they are, we are going to destroy them. Over here, I'm just hoping to get lucky with the shots. Just click OK, and we're going to turn it over to the Arab League, guys. So wish us the absolute best. Ooh, what's this? We've got some medium trucks coming in, my friends. Some more medium trucks. I thought that was all we were getting, but we're getting even more reinforcements for this battle. I must say that Israel did a great job in this battle at getting reinforcements. That is going to help us tremendously, as you guys could probably imagine. We should have a few more reinforcements coming from other places, but I think we'll find out when we actually go ahead and end the turn. So let's go ahead next. Look at that, medium trucks. Oh, baby. I'm loving it. Not the McDonald's kind of loving it either. Let's go ahead and keep on going. Here we go. Beautiful. And there's one more group. Oh, so they're actually coming directly from over here in the east. Well, from Israel. We're going to actually go ahead and try to get them closer. But these guys are not actually on a road as far as I can tell. They are driving across open desert, though. So it almost sort of acts as a road in a weird way, which is interesting to say the least. See, we still have a few units here that are capable of moving. We do want to try to check everything, but we can't always check every single movement we make, as you guys can probably understand. Can we get a shot off? No, I don't think we can. Let's grab these guys, see if they can get a shot off, and once again, no. They've already fired their shot. We want to turn it over to the enemy side. I will see if these guys can move. Once again, I'm just going to check these guys one more time because getting these guys closer to the battlefield is going to help us out big time. That's our brigade HQ. We want to be careful. We do have several brigades, not just one, so keep that in mind. And I think, ooh, that's right. We also have some units that they tried to cover up here. What are these called? The Staghounds. So with the Staghounds, I want to see if we can get a shot off. Let's try it out. Ooh, yeah, we can. Let's go ahead and fire at this rifle company. Oh, man, the sound of those Staghounds sounds deadly. I'm going to fire at these guys because they don't actually have a target on them. Ooh, we can't. Okay, let's fire again. No effect, man. Stat counts, I expected a lot more from you guys. I really did. But you know what? It is what it is. Turning it over to the enemy, guys. Let's hope for the best. And of course, right now, we have to deal with the enemy's artillery strikes. So they're trying to hit us. They know we're in Rafa. They're actually sort of bombing their own neighborhood to try and get us. But luckily, we don't seem to have any men on their hexes except for one. And that's that group of tanks. Unfortunately, that was totally my fault. And I hope that none of these artillery rounds actually manage to damage that group of tanks. I don't think they will. I think the tanks are strong enough to withstand arty, but it depends on what kind of arty is being fired at us, obviously. One thing I know for sure is that artillery can disrupt tanks, and disruption would obviously mean we can't use that tank for at least a turn. Another strike there. They are missing completely. I think the leader of the Arab artillery here is going to be sacked pretty quickly. For some pretty terrible use of arty. Here we go. I mean, they didn't even fire at our machine gun, which is right there. So here we go, side B. Okay, they're opening fire on the light machine gun. That makes sense. Okay, so these are our guys approaching essentially the first victory point, and I'm not surprised that the enemy is firing at us. Some of our units are actually returning fire, which is pretty neat, but they're definitely trying to stop us from getting to that first victory point. They don't want that to happen at all. And as you can see, they just killed one of our half-tracks. I was worried about that, but I knew that was a possibility, and if there are any men in those half-tracks, you know, they're long dead and gone, so got to be very careful doing that. That being said, if you drop a unit out of a half-track, think of how much he's going to have to walk to get to his location, and that can be a real problem. Wow, good shooting by the enemy. They didn't kill any of our guys there, but they did manage to make one of our armored infantry units retreat, which is definitely not what I expected. They also managed to make our light machine gun retreat. But as you can see with our guys who have gotten some pretty decent military training, they know how to retreat without taking casualties. So as soon as they notice that the enemy firepower is pretty overwhelming, they tend to pull back pretty quickly, and I actually like that. Over here at the Rafa camps, there's going to be a lot of enemy movement, guys, so this could actually take a while. There's a lot the enemies have to do here by the Rafa camps, and I'm not sure why they're deciding to stock up all their units here. They might be trying to do some sort of counterattack, because the truth is, by the Rafa camps and the Rafa Junction, there aren't many victory points of massive value. Let's put it that way. We've got 250 over there by Rafa, but over here to the west, not particularly. Look at this. Oh, they're definitely setting up more defenses over here to make it a little bit harder for our boys to get into this area. Taking those 150 victory points that you guys are seeing on the screen right now, that's basically just the first stage of the points we need to take. There's a lot more, and you can actually, if you look close there, you can see some enemy tanks in the center there, actually in the tile above where those units just moved. The enemy's absolutely getting prepared for an even more defensive approach. At least that's what it looks like to me, and I don't even think that most of our artillery can reach this particular area over here, which is a little concerning, to say the least. Hopefully, we'll never even have to go over here anyway. That's the biggest hope, of course. Man, they're protecting that 75-point victory point like it was 775 points. They've got way too many men over there. Keep in mind, though, that those vehicles that look like tanks in the north, we learned before, are just armored personnel carriers. Not to mention armored personnel carriers without machine guns on them. So they're glorified APCs. As far as I know, there's no MGs on them, but they certainly have, or probably have, some enemy units inside, ready to basically drop out and fight. Look at these enemy Shermans, man. They are so badly damaged. Many of them have already run away. The ones that we shot at, you can see the wrecks on the road, and the ones that are still alive, one of them has apparently gotten into a cornfield to hide, and the other one is still trudging along down the road towards the Rafa camps and away from Rafa City itself. So we're going to have to see what happens here. Ooh, Oh, that light truck. We should have actually opened fire on that thing. Could have had units inside, although you never really know, right? You can only guess that there are still units inside a truck, and I'm not sure we want to waste munitions on destroying an empty supply truck. Is it going to increase our victory points? Yeah, sure, but if there's nobody inside, I'd rather use that round on a unit that can actually be a threat to us. That's Lieutenant Colonel Duca, and he's actually up there near Rafa. Killing him would be excellent. For those of you that have not seen the whole series, go check it out, because we've already killed one of the enemy commanders, a major one. And if we can kill another one, we're going to greatly affect enemy morale, of course leading it to making it easier for us to disrupt enemy units, etc. So that's absolutely something that I'm looking forward to. That's right, get right into our artillery strike. Okay, guys, here we go. Artillery strike's on the way. Keep those fingers crossed. Right there on the 250. No effect on the 81mm mortar, man. I expected more. No effect. They are getting very lucky. No effect on Colonel Madani. Now over here, we definitely managed to reduce by 3, so we killed 3 from that rifle company with that strike. Good shooting, boys. And we just got that unit to retreat, which leaves that area open to our men, of course. We're still firing at the 250-point area, and we've actually dropped a lot of rounds there. I would love to get some kills on that particular square, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. There we go, once again, reduced by 1 disrupted. Really decent shooting by our artillery guys. Much better than what the Arab League was doing earlier. They were doing a pretty awful job at shooting at our guys. Then again, we do have speed on our side, and that's going to help tremendously. Good shooting, boys. Wow, that was a really nice shot, and they were in pretty good cover. So we got them to retreat. We reduced 1 by 2. So definitely got some kills. What about here? No effect, but we forced them to retreat. Some of the enemy units, I don't know if you guys agree, seem to be a lot better trained than others. Like, some of them get out of the way pretty quickly before they take damage. Some of them just kind of figure, let's just stay here and hope for the best. And it usually doesn't end very well for them. So it's back to our turn, guys, and we're only at 5 of 20 turns. There's so much left to play in this campaign. I know you guys want to watch more, so make sure to support by hitting that like button, commenting down below, and in general, just trying to help as best you can. We are going to try to continue doing this series, even though it is one of the series which YouTube hates. We just eliminated, by the way, that AT gun, which is beautiful. And hopefully we can make this a successful one and get more people into strategy gaming via this series. So I hope you guys will keep supporting me. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Always comment down below. And, of course, have an awesome day, my friends. I'll see you in the next one.